This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 5/18/22, show number 392. So markets under pressure today, Nick.
Oh, yeah, we got a big sell-off underway here. It looks like the dip comes as Target reported earnings, and they were not impressing Wall Street. Today, I'll tell you that the stock is trading down as we speak by about 25%. And I can't remember the last time I seen Target fall by this amount. So this is probably the biggest one-day decline, at least in my memory. And it echoed what Walmart did yesterday. Walmart got absolutely hammered yesterday. And that stock now has fallen from basically 150 down to 125, and it's down another 5% today. But this is really putting a lot of pressure on the retailers today across the board. And the bottom line, inflation and supply shortages, they're going to come to, they're hurting earnings now, and that's the bottom line now. And everybody has to come to that realization.
All right. So in other words, Target gets targeted, huh?
Yes, Target got targeted and then some. I mean, a 25% decline, it's a 53-point move lower today. That's incredible.
Well, look, we've seen the same things happen with Facebook, with Amazon, Apple to a lesser degree. So this seems to be a trend here.
This is definitely a trend here. And you're seeing when companies do not make their earnings, they are just going to get absolutely pummeled. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now.
And if earnings are weak, what does that say for the market?
It just tells you what the market's already been telling us really from the start of the year. The market's weak and getting weaker. And when you look at the fundamental backdrop with the Russian-Ukraine war, the shortages that are going on, the inflation, the Federal Reserve, which really was the fueling pump for equities going up to where they did. Now they've taken the punch bowl away, so you don't have that liquidity that you had out there. These guys are not buying $120 billion a month of U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. Why they were doing that anyway is baffling to everybody, but it was happening. And now they're actually doing QT, quantitative tightening. So they're selling those assets, and they're doing it into a falling stock market. It's just baffling, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah, one has to wonder how much longer they can keep this up.
I mean, at this stage of the game, if you heard Jay Powell yesterday, who spoke at a Wall Street Journal conference, he basically said they're going to continue to go until they can stop inflation. But I have to tell you, this is not a recipe for a market that is going to move significantly higher. You're going to be looking at a market that will get bounces and then it will sell off again. And that's exactly, what we're looking at, lower lows overall.
Until he's forced to pivot and change direction. Some people think it'll be longer, others shorter. But hey, we're talking about tanking the global economy here, Nick.
And they're doing it, and it's happening. Everybody that gets a 401k statement is probably looking at their accounts now and saying, what happened here? This was a market that went up almost every month, and now this is declining by a major margin. I mean, think about it. The NASDAQ is now down 27-28% from the November, since the start of the year. It's down even more than that since the peak, which took place, I believe, on November 22nd.
All right. So more fun ahead. Hey, looking at housing. Well, surprise, surprise. Applications for purchases way down.
Yeah, and we're seeing that too. And, again, the housing market was really supported by low interest rates, and it was supported by the Federal Reserve, these guys were buying mortgage-backed securities every month. Now they're not doing that. They're actually selling mortgage-backed securities, and you have, rates going higher. So that's it. The housing market is now going to come to a somewhat of a halt. And, you're going to see really we're going to see housing prices drop. So again, I have put options on KB Homes right now, and I'm riding that thing down. And that I just think it's going to go lower.
So you think it's going to affect Florida at some point?
At some point it will. Florida is probably one of the better states right now that can hold up because people are fleeing, places like California and Chicago. And, just my kids' baseball team, we got two new kids one from Chicago, one from California, and one was already on the team from California. So, they only hold 11 kids. So that's a big percentage of people coming from out of state. But yeah, people are fleeing those places and they're coming down to places like Florida, Texas, Tennessee. So again, they'll hold up better. Everything is about where you live. But overall, it will definitely hurt markets everywhere. There's no doubt about it.
And do you think, these investors that are buying the single family homes, sight unseen cash offer, do you think they're going to back off?
I think at some point they're going to have to, right? So you're talking about BlackRock and a bunch of these guys that have been buying properties, not only sight unseen, but 20% over asking price. So that's been going on for a while. We can only wonder why. I have my own thoughts about that. But yeah, I do think it will slow down because it just, people are going to say, have you looked at BlackRock stock lately, Kerry?
No, I haven't.
This stock was trading at around $973 in November. It's now $600 and it's going down. The chart pattern is bearish. This is going to be a $500 company before you blink. So, again, something is telling us something's wrong here, right? The wires have been crossed and, they're not doing something right. I mean, if I'm a shareholder of BlackRock and I see the stock fall, 300 plus points, I'm probably pretty ticked off right now. And, the chart is telling me it's going lower anyway. So, again, it's holding 600 this week, but what's it going to be in July or August? I think it'll be easily a $500 company.
Interesting. And if you look at their chart, it's the daily chart's horrible looking chart there.
Horrible looking. The downtrend is strong. The stock has, it hasn't fallen gradually. It's fallen sharply. And if you look at a monthly chart, it's what we call in the business a waterfall. And that's just a complete rollover.
Yep. I wouldn't be touching that. And hey, so what's going on with our cryptos today?
Yeah, crypto is under pressure today. So we're definitely seeing some weakness there. If you look at Bitcoin right now, trading down around 29,200. If you're looking at Bitcoin futures today, pretty much around the same level, 29,300. It's down about 2.25%. It's still living to fight another day, but I will tell you this, the trend is down in Bitcoin, trend is down in all the cryptos. So right now I don't expect it to just crack and break lower, but I'm watching the pattern as it's still developing. But overall, just remember the trend is down on all of these cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin.
All right. And gold flat today, huh?
Yeah, gold is a little bit on the flattish side today, pulling back a little bit. It's nothing horrible. Looks like gold futures down about 8 points. GLD today is down 30 cents. So a little bit, on the quieter side there, not doing any big movement. But a lot of times with Options X, which is this coming Friday, gold can make big moves. I just haven't really seen much going on there today.
All right. Maybe they've driven it as low as they can. Silver also can't catch a bid.
Yeah, silver's down a little bit more, down about 1% on the futures. If you're looking at the SLV, which is the ETF for silver, that's down about 0.5%. So a little bit weaker today, but nothing terrible. It's really a lot of times, when you get into Options X, these things will be really all over the map. That hasn't happened yet. But we still got 2 more trading days before Options X.
That's right. 2 more trading days, and we will touch base with you again on Friday. In the meantime, go over to inthemoneystocks.com, Nick's website, where he shows you how he's beaten the averages for decades. And while you're at it, take a look at the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Your email's always welcome, kl@kerrylutz.com. And Nick, we will talk to you on Friday.
Sounds good, Kerry.